nice. There will eventually be a video of that, but let's say, just as a preface, we picked up some TEs off of the curb. This is a little 12-inch Sears black and white set from 1980. Obviously it's solid state. Needs a little bit of help. I think there's some problems with, well, there's definitely some problems here, but when I plug in a VCR, the picture just goes nuts. But snowball pattern looks okay, so I think it's on the input side. I'll have to look at that. Some dirty controls as well, but that's to be expected. You can probably hear this out here. This is a 1984 Curtis. The wood grain cabinet. It's pretty dirty, but it works. I probably can't play too much of this. The only source I've got over here right now is a VCR with exactly one tape. You can see it looks okay. Try and just mute it so that way I don't get too bad. There's the automatic frequency tuning, another miscellany. Be kind of rewind, but obviously that's not the point of this video, so let me get this out of the way and we'll take a look at what we're actually here for. Here it is, the box that it came in. Now, I'm sure that most of you who are into, the vintage computer aficionados who browse eBay on even a semi-regular basis will see various shady eBay sellers doing various things with eBay listings, and there's one particular seller. I've got a thing that's set up to look for vintage computer, literally just that string, and you find interesting stuff, usually nothing that's actually worth spending the kind of money that people are asking for, but, sometimes you find a gem. And there's certainly some interesting things that do show up that are worth buying for the price that is there, or can be had for a bargain if you use the best offer feature, and the seller's not a jerk. Anyway, but there's one particular seller who I have seen several times who, on a daily basis, will spam eBay with hundreds of listings for vintage computer paraphernalia. Whole desktops, whole laptops, parts, etc., etc. But they'll list the same things over and over and over again. And I'm kind of hesitant to even go for something like that, because what else are they going to do, right? But anyway, I took a chance on this, which, interestingly, they put this sticker on it. Heavy. Greater than 50 pounds. Now, I don't know. The customs labeling said that it was 27 pounds. And I find it hard to believe that the packing material, which mostly consisted of snowman poop, actually happens to weigh more than the computer itself. I don't think so. So what did we get? Well, yet another XT clone. Let me get it out of the box. Here it is, folks. Leading edge. See there? Basically, on the surface, just yet another Taiwanese XT clone. Nothing particularly special. Interestingly enough, in all of my years of collecting everything, I have never actually owned a leading edge computer. The only leading edge anything that I have ever had is I had a little, I think it was a little 13-inch color VGA monitor with a leading edge logo on it. It was actually a very nice monitor until the cable that was permanently attached happened to break and ruined the synchronization. This is actually a leading edge Model D. In particular, if you flip it around here, you'll see that this is a DC-2010. There's no serial number listed, but I guess maybe that's the serial number? I don't know. D1F. But being a DC-2010, this would be an earlier Model D. And even more intriguingly, this doesn't have a turbo switch, as you can see, which makes it one of the earlier leading-edge Model Ds. The later ones with the E on the end could also not have a turbo switch, but those ones ran at the faster speed. They're particularly hard to find. This one in particular predates turbo, so it runs at 4.77 megahertz all the time. Later ones could switch between 4.77 and 7.16, and like I said, the later ones that didn't have the turbo switch ran at 7.16 all the time. Factory set for 120 volts, which is good. Apparently research for State University of something. I don't know. Maybe Nevada, I can't tell. But some ASIC tag from something or another. This is kind of odd. Usually you don't see that. An actual outlet on the back for plugging in your monitor. But there are some monitors, including the one that I am going to use to test this later on, that don't have the, or have a permanently attached cord that plugs straight into the wall, so that's useful for that. For some reason, there's a serial and a parallel port here, even though there's serial and parallel integrated. This is one of the first clones to actually have integration. So that's why it's got fewer slots, as you can see here. Also, interestingly, it's got separate mono and color, but yet there's a switch here to switch between mono and color. So I don't know how that works just yet. I guess we'll find out. The screws are a little rusted, as is some of the back, but if you take a look inside, once we do take a look inside, you'll see that it's, despite what it looks like on the outside, it actually is not too bad on the inside. It's missing the button over the reset switch. Of course, there's power. For some reason, they left me a floppy in the floppy drive. Maybe that was used to protect it, I don't know. But it's an interesting little floppy drive mechanism. I've never seen one like that, where you could actually lock it into place. When I pop the cover, we'll have to see who manufactured that. And of course, front-mounted keyboard, which is a standard XT type, as far as I know. Here we are inside the beast, taking a look at this. Now, I've already done some things in here. Unlike the PC XT, this actually has an onboard real-time clock, and the battery was still installed. I'm amazed that it didn't leak at all. It might have even still been good. I'd have to go back and look at the listings, or the pictures in the eBay listing. But you can see this is manufactured by Daewoo. All kinds of chips down there. Some of those are probably memory chips. I believe this would have come stock with 256 kilobytes of memory. You could order it with dual floppy, or floppy and hard drive, like this has. I'm not sure whose hard drive this is, other than I don't think it's a Seagate. But at the end of the day, you could have ordered it with a 10 megabyte, a 20 megabyte, or a 30 megabyte hard drive. Like I said, they came stock with 256 kilobytes. Expandable, I believe, up to 768, or maybe 640. You can see this one's definitely got an expansion card in it. And the thing that makes me kind of curious about this expansion card is that it's got a battery on it as well. Which kind of makes me wonder if it's not really meant for this computer, because like I said, the original XT didn't have a real-time clock. And a lot of these I/O boards added real-time clock functionality. But this wouldn't need that because it's already got an onboard real-time clock. Maybe it was just ignored, I don't know. And then this is the disk controller. Or, yeah, I presume anyway. Yeah, that's the disk controller. Or maybe it's got an onboard disk controller. What is this? Adaptec. I don't know what that is. Almost looks like a SCSI controller. But no, that's the hard drive controller. So it does have a floppy controller on board. But yeah, I thought that looked like SCSI, but it's got two separate ribbons, so that's the MFM controller. Interesting that Adaptec would make an MFM controller, but I guess evidently at some point or another they did. So I guess the only thing left to do, I'm going to put the cover back on, and we're going to fire this thing up, sight unseen, and hope that it doesn't explode like the Packard Bell PB8810 did when I tried powering it up. But you never know. You could have a 10 ohm capacitor explode. You could have regular electrolytics go poof. You could have a reefer cap go bam. All number of things. So you got this power strip here. Okay, here's our monitor. Power switch is on. I'm not sure if this is a CGA or an MDA monitor. I believe there is a difference. I plugged it into the monochrome and switched the switch on the back to mono. It's a little nervous, especially having it powering on in here, right next to the smoke detector. But you only live once. So here we go. I just heard a buzz. Nothing from the display so far. Oh, but it is doing something. That hard drive is bad. That's an error code. So, let me do some troubleshooting. Okay, I plugged it into color this time. Let's see what happens. That is much better. Sort of. Huh. $64K. It's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, so it's doing something different every time I power it on. Made an interesting noise a second ago. I'm not getting any display out of it. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if my monitor finally bit the dust. Oh, I hear whining. Okay. I have a strange feeling that, given the whine I'm hearing, this is about to do something weird. Yeah. So there's obviously a problem somewhere. But we're getting closer. Let's try switching that back to mono. Okay, now we got a perfect picture. Okay. Stand by for it to explode. I could probably replace that hard drive. Wouldn't be a big deal. I'm not sure why it's only seeing 64K though. At 1701, that's not surprising. I don't think I got a boot disc around here. So that's basically as far as we're gonna go here today. But that's neat. Shows some promise. Now it's gonna go blow up. Right at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned. We will be able to, we'll check what hard drive that is and replace it with something that's functional.